on that. You made one other point, Sai, which was about inconvenience and sheer plethora of cases that will open up if equality of marriage is granted to those who love the same sex. And you said there's 600 other implications of that.
Inconvenience is not my argument.
Whatever may be, but
right.
You're saying a plethora of cases will open. Will they keep coming back to the courts? The simple point is, here is a community that is not impinging. You know, you've said somewhere else that here you're trying to individualize a social institution.
Correct.
You've also said in the context of the same case that
Correct.
should society not have the right to draw red lines?
Correct.
Now, those are very subjective because who will decide those red lines?
Correct.
The institution of marriage itself is a very modern concept. In the Hindu tradition itself,
okay.
we've been allowed to have 3 marriages and 100 wives, etc., right? So, in this case, there's a group of people that feel their fundamental right under Article 14, 15, 19, and 21 are being denied. And that is not impinging on the rest of us from having children, dowry, property, etc., etc., etc. They are being denied a right. They're not trying to take away our rights to have children.
Correct.
So why is there even a resistance to expanding the rights of others when it's not taking away any from us?
Okay. What is the extent to which you're willing to extrapolate this logic? Because I have a couple of examples in mind.
Please throw them at us.
Okay. Assuming that there are 2 couples and they're interested in having a polyamorous relationship inter se. They're all adults and hopefully not brothers and sisters. Okay. They know what they're doing and they've chosen to enter into this particular relationship. Then there comes a point that this becomes a phenomenon where you realize that it's not limited to certain pockets, but there perhaps is greater acceptance to this, but in silent tones or in whispers, okay? Assume for a moment that this particular practice acquires a certain critical mass. What is your position going to be then? Are you going to apply the harm principle to basically say that the institution of marriage is proven to be a failure, therefore let's do away with every definition or every notion that the society... No, hold on. If you're going to tell me that this is a hypothetical, this is speculative, sorry. I wasn't
going to say that.
Right.
I was going to say...
Right.
I was going to say, as a good lawyer, you can see the inherent contradiction in what you're saying. Because at one level, you're saying this must be the will of society.
Right.
If the will of society is to have polyamorous relationships,
right.
How do you become the custodian to stop that?
And if the will of the society is to alter the nature of the constitution and to give this country a different identity, what's your position?
I can't hear you.
If the will of the society is also going to be to change the nature of the constitution, hit reset on the constitution, give it a different rashtra altogether, will you give effect to that identity as well?
You know, you've changed. I was asking
the
you
logic is
question.
the same.
No,
the logic is the same.
No, logic is not
if
the
the
same.
society accepts something, you're saying it must be acceptable to the judiciary. If I were to end up convincing 90% of this community, or let's say of this country, to my position on certain issues, will you then accept it? Then I then say, I don't need to go to the court. I'll hit the reset. I'll use Article 368 and come out with a different constitution altogether. Republic 2.0. Are you okay with it?
Okay, you know, I'm going to get drawn into, I'm going to play referee and
not my answer.
not the discussant entirely over here.